So we got a new Pet Semetary film, Pet Semetary Bloodlines, and this is currently streaming on Paramount Plus. So if you're a Pet Semetary enthusiast who's like, I got to see every Pet Semetary movie that's ever made,
Ever.
this is the fourth, then I guess this movie is for you. If that is not your mission in life, to see every Pet Semetary movie, then I'd probably skip it. I would definitely skip it. Okay,
Yeah.
so this is set in 1969. We follow Judd from Judson. Yeah, we get. Do we know his full name in the movie from the first one? Because you read the book.
I think we know his full name. Yeah.
So Judd Crandall has dreams and aspirations of being like the first person to leave Ludlow. Takes his beautiful girlfriend, Norma,
yep,
to leave this place once and for all. But of course, something prevents them from leaving. And that sounds like that's like really intriguing to the plot. Not really. Basically, someone gets buried in the Pet Cemetery, obviously, and they wreak havoc. But it does follow the events of Judd, who's the character we really know, and Norma, who we don't really ever get to know from the other movies.
Yeah.
But she's just mentioned. So anyway, man, yeah. Okay, so this has David Duchovny. It also has Henry Thomas in it. Both of them are insanely wasted and are just kind of throwaway dad characters that really don't add anything to the film. As far as like the production value of the film, it looks good. I mean, it's not an interesting looking movie. There's no like flavor to it. I'm not like, oh wow, it just looks crisp. It looks professional.
Yeah,
is all it is, right? And every shot and in the movie, this feels just kind of like someone went to film school.
Right.
They had the budget. They had a crew that was competent. And they were just like, here's all the basic shots that we know. Let's do those. And we'll try to shoot the script as accurate as possible. Right? There doesn't seem to be any artistic value being placed into this by artists.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
In any way, shape, or form. This just feels like a very by the numbers, straightforward, safe, uninteresting film that's set in the Pet Semetary universe. This is just one of those things, I feel, where a studio is either A, going to lose the rights to the movie, or B, is like, what can we pull out that has some name recognition to it?
Yeah.
Let's just grab some ambitious not ambitious, like not desperate either, but
kind of
a hungry filmmaker who just wants to make something, because this is their directorial debut. Lindsay Anderson Beer, sorry. And they just kind of like throw a script together, they throw the film together, and then they drop it on Paramount Plus to try to get people to come subscribe. I don't think that there was if there was anyone passionate about this film, it does not show.
Yeah.
This feels like a product.
It does.
And it's not a good one.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a good description of it, that it felt kind of like a product. Like you'd already said, like the film looks fine and everything, but it just feel like the story was very uninspired. And I think it's hard, like when you go up against something like Pet Semetary, like, King is so great at writing, and I think that a lot of his works are hard to build on. Like if you're not using things that he's written for it already. I didn't feel like this captured that spirit at all, and even if it was an attempt to go in a new route, I think that there's enough like callbacks to the original film that it didn't feel that way to me. It didn't feel like they were trying to go a different route. It felt like they were just kind of writing that same story. And I guess you could argue to some extent like that is like the whole kind of plot of Pet Semetary is like this happens over and over again. Like people are consistently burying their dead in the pet cemetery and coming back to life and all of that. But I found that like the third act, like when everything is supposed to be like climaxing in this film, it was so anticlimactic.
Yes.
And so just kind of like
the final act is so uninspired
Yeah.
and so boring.
It was boring. It was really boring, and it was just over so fast. And it was like, okay, that was like the big battle, like that was the big fight and everything.
Oh, sure.
And there's also like an attempt to have this emotional connection between Judd and Manny and Timmy, these like three main characters, and I did not feel that at all.
No.
I think that there's like some shots that are just like them as kids, and we're supposed to be, as the viewer, understanding that they're like good friends, but I just did not get that at all. And even though they've grown apart and they're like, as they've gotten older, that also didn't show. I just felt like they were very stale characters.
Yes.
And there's another character too that I felt like was kind of pointless in some ways. But anyway, it just wasn't a good film.
Yeah. So as
Not
far
for us, at
as
least.
far as like the kids go, the way that this would have worked for that aspect, maybe not the whole film, because the whole film needs a makeover. But as far as like the kids stuff goes, yeah, you're right. We don't connect to them because we never really see their relationship.
Yeah.
Right? You can't just show a few characters that are very disconnected from one another, and then in the very end show us glimpses of who they once were for about 5 seconds, and us go, oh, now I'm connected, now I'm invested. Yeah. That's not how that works, right? So like with, sticking with Stephen King, obviously with It, you have the whole building of the Losers Club as kids, and we know their relationships, so that by the time we get to It Chapter 2, when the crew gets back together one by one, we already know why these characters are connected. We already know their history with one another. So when there's things going on between them, you have that establishment. So there's no, but that's not even necessary. You don't even have to land that. You can just land the characters as adults, and then maybe periodically throughout the film show little clips of them as kids when they were friends.
Yeah.
You don't even have to make that in abundance, but the character building in here is really poor. Yeah. I was not connected to anyone for any reason. Basically everyone just plays their role, like in an archetypal kind of way. You've got your main character stand-in, Judd. You've got his dad, right? You've got his pretty girlfriend who sits off on the side. You've got, it's just these characters that I'm basically just describing all that they are and all that they do. Yeah. They don't bring anything extra to the table. There's a scene in this movie that upset me and confused me so much when it happened. And as far as like kills go, oh my good God, there is nothing interesting going on there. Like they go for the final battle and people are just like pulled off screen.
Yes.
And you just don't see them again. And you're like, okay, I guess they're dead. I don't know. Okay, fine. That's that. And then the main villain is like, the battle with him, it's like, oh, that's over. Oh,
yeah,
that was the big bad?
Fast.
And, okay. But the scene, okay, this is technically spoilers. So if you don't want to hear this, it's not really, but it is. It really isn't. A house catches fire, and the house isn't like ablaze or anything. Yeah. It's not like engulfed. It's like there's a fire started somewhere in the house. They're like in a kitchen. There's big windows. There's a back door, and they're like, let's go into the basement. There's like a trap door. It's like, come on, we can go into the basement and wait it out. Wait it out.
Yeah.
Instead of just going outside, there's literally no reason to stay into the house. And it's all a plot device to get them into the basement.
Yeah.
But there's so many ways to write that to where there's an excuse to get them into the basement that makes sense.
Yeah.
A house is on fire. You have easy exits next to you. and you decide you're going to go into the basement to wait it out. You ever heard of oxygen? Have you ever heard of a house collapsing on top of you?
Yeah.
Have you?
Yeah, it's really...
I genuinely looked at Kaylee and lost my mind. I was like, you're kidding me.
Especially because, like, overall the rest of the writing in this was, like, fine. Like, nothing great, but nothing, like, extraordinarily bad. And for that to be, you know...
I agree. I actually disagree.
You think it was really bad?
I actually think the writing is pretty poor all around.
I mean, I didn't think it was amazing, but I didn't think it was all that level.
I don't think it's like
I think that when we get
I don't think it's like B movie,
right.
like Troll 2.
That's what I mean.
Dialogue.
Like, it's not like that kind of dialogue.
But it's like
it's nothing.
It's like Chat GBT dialogue.
Yeah, it's like AI wrote this dialogue for Pet Semetary. But that scene, like, especially because it's it's supposed to be such an intense part of the film, like that third act, it just really takes you out of it because it makes no sense. Well, then it's kind of insulting to the viewer too, because it's like there's so clearly a better, like, option.
Oh
like,
my god,
you know?
so many.
So yeah, that was not great.
And then there's supposed to be like tension with this character that's buried.
Yeah.
And the way that's like resolves.
Anticlimactic.
Anticlimactic in every way, this whole film.
Yeah.
So, a very poor film for me. I'm not surprised.
Not a recommendation.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I'm not a fan of Pet Semetary. I'm like the only person that is like, I'm a big fan of Pet Semetary 2 and no other Pet Semetary film.
Yeah, you're definitely... I mean, that's fine. It's okay, of course.
Pet Semetary 2 is just the kind of film I like. It's zany and it's insane. And that's what I want out of a Pet Semetary film, because the concept... Although, that being said, what I told Kaylee when we were watching this is like, the most interesting thing about the Pet Semetary is just the... like, what was the word I used? The draw? Like the...
I don't remember the exact word you used.
Oh, come on.
I don't remember.
No, the temptation.
The temptation.
The temptation of the Pet Semetary that's the most interesting thing, right? Your loved one dies and you have this way to bring them back, but they're not going to really be them.
Yeah. And
you know it. Maybe after the first time, you know, if you do bury him the first time, you're being warned, right? Like in the first film, and then he brings him back, and then it's just like, it's hard. It's like a drug. It's like, I know it's not going to be the same, but at least it'll be something.
Yeah, it's a very selfish temptation.
Right? So those themes of the first one I do like, but I don't know. I've just never been a huge fan of it. I don't hate it. I think it's fine. I like it. I think it's like just a fine watch. It's something I'd watch like once or twice and be done with. But the second one is crazy. Clancy Brown is the best ever. I love movies like that. So that's that B movie, kind of schlocky, insane. Everything is wild as hell.
Yeah.
It's just my kind of movie.
Yeah.
So this one is just boring, uninspired, friggin' AI generated nonsense that was definitely used. And I almost never use that phrase. But this is like a cash grab. This is we're losing the rights to this, or we just need to pull a property out. I don't care.
Yeah, it's October. So
hire anybody. Just make it sure it's out by October.
Yeah.
That's what this feels like. And that is frustrating, because the amount of money that went towards this, with how good it looks, right, with the actors that they got, they had the money. Yeah. Like, a script is like, it's not free. You have to pay the writer, but like, pay words and everything, just putting them down, that you can do whatever you want with a script. Yeah. And it's just like, if you have that kind of money, why not invest it in something better? Like, at least shop around. Be like, have Pet Semetary be like, you know, go to like 10 writers and be like, can you give me a script? Yeah. Can you get me a script? Whoever brings me the best script, I'll buy that one. Yeah. Right? I don't think, maybe that's not legal. I don't know. But whoever turned in this script, no. I think it's the same person. It is. She wrote and directed.
Yeah.
So they saved some money there. Yeah. They were like, here. Oh, yeah, no. Nope. All right. That's that.
Bye.